Good afternoon, sports fans. We've got a doozy of a matchup today. We're expecting a capacity crowd. The sofa's sold out. Let's take a look at the key players for today's matchup. First up, Tater Tot Nachos, a definite MVP candidate. Next, a spicy buffalo chicken sandwich. When they get hot, they're almost impossible to stop eating. And a game-winning skillet cookie. This decadent dessert is not going home till they cut down the nets. We've got lots of talent on the court as the big game is about to tip off. So let's get started. Life can be a struggle, but a good meal doesn't have to be. We can make creative, nutritious, and inventive dishes that won't break the bank. We'll eat well and save money, because that's what we do. Welcome to Struggle Meals. Tater Tot Nacho. Everything you love about a traditional nacho taken up a notch by the Tater. This is a crispy, cheesy, delicious dish that's more filling than your average nachos, and in my opinion, more delicious. Plus, it's really easy to make. Let's get into it. It's really simple. You take them from the bag, you put them on the tray. These are going into the oven until they're crispy and even more golden brown. We're gonna get some oil into our pan here, just like this. We're gonna be cooking our beef in this pan. Right now, what we wanna do is wake up our spices in the oil. That's cumin, chili powder, garlic powder, onion powder. And now I'm headed to the packet drawer for some red pepper flakes. Red pepper flakes going in. Cool. Look, our spices have darkened. This is incredible. Let's get our beef in the pan. Whoa! Break up that beef. All the players should be spread out on the court. We can't have people bunched together. That's how you complete the play. Pass, 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 pass. Swoosh! I'm using spices we already have on hand to make my own taco seasoning here. We could go out and buy a taco seasoning spice pre-blended. And that would be like, boom, 2 points, which is great. But what did we do by making our own? We saved money. It's the equivalent of being fouled as you're going for a three-pointer, but the ball goes in, and 1 extra points, baby, a 4-point play. I'm gonna hit this with some salt and pepper. Okay, beef is cooked. I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna set it aside. Let's pull our tater tots out of the oven. All right, here we go. Right into the cast iron pan. We want an oven-safe pan that can also be a serving vessel. So I'm gonna use about half of our tater tots right now. It ain't a nacho without a layer of cheese. I'm a big advocate of buying your cheese in block form because it's more affordable, it lasts longer, and there's no anti-caking agents. Which means when we freshly grate this, it's gonna melt even better than the stuff that's pre-shredded. This is a win. All right, beef. Again, we wanna save some beef for the next layer, so we're gonna use about half. Very nice. And now, the cheese is coming out. I'm just pulling it from underneath. Nice. Back to the tots. Evenly spread out. Look at this. Just spread these out. Remainder of our beef coming in with the cheese on top to finish this off. Beautiful. Remember, everything here is fully cooked, so all we have to do is throw this into the oven until the cheese is melty and bubbly. Oven time! Look at these beauties. They are glorious. And now it's time to top it with all the fresh stuff. Throw in some black olives on top. They're meaty, they're briny. They give a nice contrast in texture, flavor, and salinity. Freshly made salsa. It's just onion, tomato, a little bit of salt and cilantro. Gonna go in with some radishes. Again, a spicy, crisp contrast to our melty, bubbly cheese. Ooh, this is looking very sophisticated. Jalapenos. I'm a big fan of cilantro. Finally, big dollop of sour cream right in the middle of the hoop. Nothing but net! Oh, I hit the rim. It's okay. It's still gonna be delicious. You know, serving in the cast iron pan like this is really great. It's the perfect everybody dig into it family style platter. Should we taste it? I think we should taste it. So we're gonna come right over here on the side. Whoa. Beautiful. Look at this. Classic flavors that you know and love for game day with a swap. Tater tots for nachos, which in my opinion makes this a more delicious meal. Still coming in super affordable though at $1.86 a serving. Whoa, I can smell that custom-made taco seasoning that we made. It's the little things that make the difference. So we'll come in, we'll get a little beef, gonna get a black olive, we got some tater tot right there. The heat is coming off. He's on fire! Very tasty. Wow. Crispy, crunchy, grubby, and delicious. This is exactly the kind of bar food I want when I'm watching the game. This is a no-brainer. It's a simple upgrade twist on a classic dish you know and love. Spicy, sour, crunchy, delicious, salty, everything I want. This dish is a slam dunk. Popcorn is the ultimate sports snack. When it comes to popcorn, the microwave might seem like a layup, but don't overlook the stovetop. Just follow these simple tips for popcorn that's surely gonna be a slam dunk. Oil is what runs the offense, and not just any oil will do. We need a neutral, high smoke point oil. You're gonna wanna use a large pot with a heavy bottom that has a tight-fitting lid. Put 3 kernels into your hot oil and wait for them to start popping. Once they do, you can add a 1/3 cup of kernels and the magic starts happening. The popping is gonna ramp up real quick. Pop, 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 pop. But when you sense 3 seconds between pops, it's time to kill the heat. That way nothing burns. Just wait 30 seconds, then pull the top off, and now it's time to flavor these puppies. The best part, of course, is that you can customize these for your taste. My personal favorite is Parmesan cheese, but you could do cinnamon, you could do paprika, or you could just do salt and butter. Super classic. It's the playoffs, so go big or go home. And when it comes to seasonings, man, you gotta leave it all on the court. Coming up next, handheld food for the big game. We're gonna make some buffalo chicken sliders. These are juicy, spicy, handheld sandwiches, and they're perfect for the big game. But by far the best part is the amount of hands-off work in this dish, because we're using a slow cooker. Let's get into it. We're gonna use chicken thighs, because it's a dark meat. It's gonna be much, much better at cooking low and slow and retaining juiciness. We add salt, pepper, and our braising liquid is an entire bottle of buffalo hot sauce. I'm gonna get the vortex going. Oh, yes. This goes on, boom, turning this to low. This is the perfect dish to have fun snacks for the big game, especially if you're busy and don't wanna spend a whole lot of time in the kitchen. While this cooks, I'm gonna go run some drills. We're taking our buffalo chicken sliders up a notch because we got all this extra time because these were so easy to make. So I think we should make our own ranch dressing. It's simple. All we need to do is change the name from ranch to apartment because I live in an apartment. I don't have a ranch. So apartment dressing. We start with some mayonnaise. Coming in with sour cream. Beautiful. For a little extra complexity, we're gonna head over to the package drawer and get some Dijon mustard. Dijon mustard coming in. All right, we're mixing that in. We're gonna add in some onion powder, some garlic powder, salt, pepper. Gonna mix that up. All right, but it doesn't stop there. We've got some fresh herbs. One of the great things about homemade apartment dressing is all the fresh herbs we can put in. Parsley. And now for just a little bit of spicy zing, we're gonna come in with some fresh chives. Chives going in. Taste for seasoning. That's a perfect apartment dressing. All right, let's check on our chicken. We're gonna come in with some butter here. So we got our butter in. Oh, are you kidding me? And this butter is just gonna melt and emulsify right into this gorgeous, gorgeous buffalo sauce. Also, it's gonna give us a little bit of relief from the heat while giving a velvety mouthfeel. All right, butter's all melted. I'm coming in with the buffalo chicken shredder 45,000. And I just wanna show you this is cooked so long that the pieces come apart extra easily and nicely. It almost feels like it's shredded on its own just from the mixing. But I just wanna make sure we got all the pieces nice and small. Gorgeous. All right, the chicken looks great. Let's get the rest of our toppings together in the form of fresh vegetables cut into ribbons. I got some carrots. I got some celery. Let's start with the carrot right here. These are gonna add a nice fresh little crunch. Why cut our vegetable toppings this way? This is a perfect strip. If this were shredded or chopped up really fine, it would all fall out of our sandwich when we bite into it. This is gonna stay in our sandwich. All right, let's assemble. Let's get some of our shredded buffalo chicken. We'll take some of that. Oh boy, look at that. Delicious. All right, let's get a little carrot. Let's get a little celery. All right, beautiful. We got our bun. Got our apartment dressing. Spread that around real nice. Boom. They look fantastic. Sophisticated, yet familiar at the same time. It's $1.42 a serving, and I can't wait to try it. Whoa. Holy smokes. You would think that the chicken being braised in all that hot sauce would be like blow your head off. He's on fire! But it isn't. It's the perfect amount of spice. It's familiar, it's delicious. The fresh vegetables are such a nice reprieve from all that hot sauce. And the homemade ranch dressing just takes it up a notch. Flavorful, oniony, garlicky. This dish is a buzzer beater. Boom, the ball's off, the buzzer goes. Everybody waits with a bated breath. Ah, it's in! The best part is that it took such a minimal amount of time to make this homemade wonder and put it out on the table. Up next, I go full court press on a struggle challenge. It's time for a struggle challenge. Let's see what you've got for me today. This week, your challenge is to make a 1 to 2 bite appetizer to dunk into a splashy dipping sauce before the shot clock runs out. Make sure you make enough to feed the whole team. I like it. Let's see what we've got to work with. Da-da-da! Okay, we've got little mini dogs here. We've also got big dogs. We've got some dough, cheese, more cheese, pickles, poppers, bacons, pizza crust. Is this imported from Italy? Nothing in the freezer. Okay. So the question is to make a 1 to 2 bite appetizer that we can dip into a sauce. And obviously we won't have several of them because we've got to feed the whole team. Right away, I'm looking at these mini Frankies and I'm thinking about wrapping them in puff pastry, perhaps getting some cheese in there as well. Well, I could do bacon, although that would require pre-cooking. So you know what? No pig belly. We're just gonna stick with the Franks here. Puff pastry around it, onto a stick, boom, into a fryer. And then we gotta think about something that's gonna be delicious to dip it into. Let's go to the fridge over there and see what else we got to work with. I think I've got an idea of where we're headed. I got potato chips, and I'm thinking the move is just to make a simple batter. All right, so we got some sour cream, and I see a beer. Beer is good for a batter. All right, let's get started. We're making a batter. So I'm losing these. I don't want bacon. I do think some potato chips crushed up could be interesting to sprinkle on the batter. Let's crush up some potato chips. So if I can figure out a way to get this on the batter, I think it's gonna be a nice addition. Let's add some hot pepper to this. What do you say? Got some cayenne. Oh yeah. I'm thinking the heat's gonna have to be in spice form because I don't see how I'm gonna get a jalapeno on a stick and still keep it a 1 to 2 bite thing. Jalapenos, you were just eliminated. Goodbye. So, we've got some spicy chips here. Woo! Definitely spicy. All right, I'm opening up these mini dogs here. All right, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's just inspect this for a second, okay? If I put a dog on a stick, yeah, I've got a crazy concept here. Like, okay, if the hot dog is cut in half and then it's reassembled like this, how is that? Yeah, this is surrounded by batter. We've got our hot, cheesy center. Boom. All right, let's just bang out a couple of these. There are these Korean corn dogs with cheese in the middle. They're on a stick. I'm taking inspiration from that. It's like a pig in a blanket brought into the future. Let's make that cool dipping sauce real quick. Got some sour cream. Let's get a little pickle brine in there. Fun. Pickle brine is like mostly vinegar and sugar. It's a really nice cooling element. Let's get some spices. Garlic powder, onion powder. We've got mint here, so I'm thinking mint is cooling, and since these are gonna be fried, we should have something to balance that. Salt and pepper. I'm thinking we can use just a touch of milk to thin it out. Yeah, that's nice. Really good. Batter time. I've got a beer. So a beer batter is really simple. It's essentially flour and beer. I have flour right here. We'll hit it with a little salt, some pepper, and I'm feeling paprika. Paprika. Mix, mix, mix. All right, let's get a little beer in there. Just try to bring it together. All All right, so it can take a lot more beer than I was anticipating. I hope this is enough batter. We're gonna find out. How is that looking? It's looking pretty good. What if we do this and we go into the fryer? Oh, I love it. All right, let's see how our first one is looking. Oh boy. They look pretty good. All right, let's make some without potato chips. Let's see what happens. They're definitely satisfying the 1 to 2 bite criteria. The beer batter looks really, really nice. Even the one with the chips is pretty interesting. I feel like I could have benefited from some jalapenos chopped up, you know, some color of some sort. That said, handheld, convenient, I'm giving them an 8. This is our standard one without any potato chips on the outside. Let's see how it dunks. I mean, the cheese is fantastic. Hot dog's wonderful. The batter is super light. Let's try this one. Dunk. Yum. These taste really good. I like them both. I don't have a winner. The potato chip with the spicy cayenne actually works really well. It adds a little crunch in there, which is nice. The just standard beer batter one, super soft, very light filling, nicely seasoned. This dip, it's got this minty brightness, which is really nice, so it is cooling things off. That said, we could add a lot more flavor to this, but I think it's a solid 8, which brings it to a 16, which is a B-. And that's a good score. I would say we crushed this challenge. Remember, it was a 1 to 2 bite appetizer that you could dump into a cooling sauce. Did we achieve that? Yes. Overall mission has been achieved. We come to an 80%, which is a B-, and that's better than I did in high school most of the time. So I'm pleased with a B-. Thank you for this challenge. Brown butter skillet chocolate chip cookie. We're about to make a gigantic cookie. Everyone can cut into it like a pie, and that makes it perfect for the big game, especially if we lay chocolate chips into it in the shape of a pattern of a basketball, which we're gonna do. First, we're gonna make our brown butter. So the best way to do this is to use unsalted butter because the milk solids are gonna brown beautifully without being tainted by salt. So the butter's gonna foam up like it's doing now. You can see the impurities and milk solids sort of floating to the top. These bits of white, that's the stuff that's actually gonna turn brown. So just let it happen. All right, so it's starting to turn amber. The butter has really begun to brown. And at this point, I'm just gonna kill the heat. So that's it. I mean, you'll smell it right away. The brown butter adds a whole bunch of extra flavor to our cookie for basically no extra cost. When you think about it, it's really just a controlled burn of the butter. He's on fire! Let's start making this giant cookie. All right, we're gonna start with our butter. Here we go. Beautiful. Some brown sugar, granulated sugar. Let's just mix this around a little. The heat of the butter is now gonna melt this sugar just slightly. Lovely. I'm gonna come in with a little bit of vanilla. An egg. All right, we've got our brown butter, our 2 sugars, our egg, a little bit of vanilla. These are our wet ingredients. We're good to move on to the dries now. Coming in with some flour, all purpose. Mixing the flour in. Very nice. Okay. We're adding baking soda, it gives us a little lift. Coming in with salt. The best chocolate chip cookies have salt. Great. Chocolate chips are going in. Okay, skillet. And we're gonna use this butter right here to grease the skillet. This is gonna prevent stickage. It's also going to make more buttery flavors. We're gonna put our cookie dough right into our greased up skillet. All right, here we go. Just try to push it out into all corners. Remember, we've got baking soda in there and that's gonna make it rise. Beautiful. So we've got our giant brown butter skillet chocolate chip cookie. Now we gotta make it look like a basketball. All right, so we've got that happening. Now we're gonna draw an axis this way. Now we gotta get our curves in there. Man, this is such a believable basketball. I'm gonna be dribbling it across the kitchen before you know it. Not only do we have a delicious skillet cookie in the making, but we've got a gorgeous work of art. Look at this. It's gonna be a big hit for the big game. Into the oven. Our cookie's beautiful, it has cooled down, and that means not only is it ready to serve, but it's not gonna melt this gorgeous ice cream we're about to adorn atop of the cookie. What's more fun than an ooey gooey chocolate chip cookie? One that has vanilla ice cream. This looks beautiful. I can't wait to dig into it. Ooh. I'm really excited to eat my giant cookie. It's only 59 cents a serving. And it's loaded with all the energy I need to get me through overtime. I can't wait anymore. We're gonna take the nose off right here. You got the ice cream on top of the cookie. It's so delicious. It's crispy on the outside. It's perfect cookie doughy on the inside. And that brown butter, whew, what a flavor. I think the best part about this is the fact that it's a single large format cookie. So you're not spending a whole lot of time crafting individual cookies. This is that basket that sends us to overtime and has us all feeling like champions. What a game. You know, even if your bracket was busted, the bitter taste of defeat was no match for our trio of delicious courtside classics. The Tater Tot nachos, festive toppings, good for a crowd. The buffalo chicken sliders, irresistibly munchable. And the brown butter skillet chocolate chip cookie with ice cream on top, the perfect dessert to take us into overtime. Where there was once a crowded field of contenders, now stands one champion. Our taste buds. And these dishes are sure to keep the stands filled with happy fans without busting our brackets or our wallets. Welcome to Frankie's Corner, where I answer your questions. When making PB&J, do you use one knife or two? What an excellent question. So I lay out my 2 pieces of bread. I start with my jelly, and I spread it beautifully on one piece of bread. And then I clean my jelly knife on the other clean piece of bread before dipping it into the peanut butter and boom, 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 boom. Now, to me, that's a clean knife because it didn't go into my mouth. That's where contamination occurs. And I'll add a follow-up to your question. Do I cut it on a 90 or 45 degree angle? Depends how I'm feeling.